All right, welcome to another edition of the Drew Pearson Show. I'm Drew Pearson, your host for tonight, and we want to thank Henry's Tavern for allowing the Drew Pearson Show to come on in here for another episode. This is a great place, great facility, and we're having a great time. We got a great lineup for you tonight as well. But before I get into our lineup and our show lineup tonight, let me talk a little bit about that Dallas Cowboy loss. I'm still crying from that. It was a tough loss, but it was a great football game to watch, and it's a receiver's paradise because there was a lot of passing going on. You knew what Peyton Manning was going to bring, but you didn't know if the Dallas Cowboys and Tony Romo could keep pace with those Denver Broncos as they put up points. But I think we surprised a lot of people by keeping pace. Tony Romo had a great game, and you knew somewhere along the line something had to give. Either Peyton Manning was going to throw an interception or make a critical mistake, or Tony Romo was going to throw an interception or make a critical mistake. Peyton Manning did make that critical mistake, but he had time within the game to correct that and overcome that. But when Tony Romo made his critical mistake in the final minutes of that fourth quarter, it was something the Dallas Cowboys couldn't overcome, and we end up losing that football game. But one thing I'm encouraged about coming out of that game, I think we got an offense that can put points on the board. One thing I am discouraged about is the fact that our defense can't seem to stop people from getting first downs to keep our opponent's offense on the field and not stopping people in the red zone, allowing our opponents to score a lot of touchdowns, which in turn puts a lot of points on the board. So next week, it's the Washington Redskins on Sunday Night Football for the Dallas Cowboys. So hopefully they can pick it up and get back on the winning track, and we'll see what's happening. And then we'll talk about it right here next Monday night on the Drew Pearson Show. As I said, we got a great lineup for you tonight. Hey, we got the great Novacek with us tonight, number 84 with the Dallas Cowboys. Five-time All-Pro, five-time Pro Bowler, and a three-time Super Bowl champ. He's got three of these babies. I got one, and I wear it out. If I had three, I'd be wearing all three out. But that's Jay Novacek. He'll be with us later in the show. Also, Jennifer Laguerre from the Komen Foundation right here in Dallas County. She's the executive director, and they got a big race, the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure, coming up in a couple weeks, and she'll tell you all about that. And, of course, my co-host, Paul Salfen. He's got some great interviews on the entertainment side. And, of course, my social media director, Michael Nast, he'll be coming up here. And if you got a question for me tonight, Michael will be taking your questions via Facebook, via Twitter, and YouTube as well. So we got a full lineup tonight, but we can't get started with this edition of the Drew Pearson Show until we thank our sponsors. Number one, Dodge City of McKinney, Albertson's Grocery, the official grocer of the Dallas Cowboys, Lombardo's Clothier. Yeah, check it out. And Best Buy and Dallas Remodel, and of course our host along with me tonight, Henry's Tavern. The Drew Pearson Show is gonna start right now. All right, welcome back to the Drew Pearson Show. We're coming to you from Henry's Tavern, right here at the Shops of Legacy in Plano, Texas, just off the toll road. If you haven't been to this place, you need to come check it out because it's got some great food, great service, and big screen TVs all around the place. If you're a sports fan, come out and check out some sports. It would have been a good place to watch that Dallas Cowboy game last night against the Denver Broncos. But anyway, we'll get into that in a minute. You notice this guy sitting next to me. You've probably seen him around, and you probably know him because he always wears the cowboy hat. But I know him because he was number 84 with the Dallas Cowboys. 5-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All-Pro, 3-time Super Bowl champ. Let's welcome Jay Novacek to the Drew Pearson Show.
Thank you, Drew. Appreciate that.
All right, Jay, how you doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing fabulous. Got me some brats.
Oh, you got some brats?
Yeah, some brats. Very good.
They got some great brats here, man.
Yeah.
They do a great job here at Henry's Tavern. Now, you don't look sore or anything from that game. I was stressed out yesterday watching that game. Man, what a game, huh?
You know, it's amazing because when you play those games, it's completely different than when you're watching those games.
Right.
The stress level is completely different. Your nerves are just different because when you're playing that game, you think you're going to win.
Right.
You think you're going to be the one that's going to catch that winning touchdown pass. You're out there doing it and you don't have those types of nerves that you do on the edge of your seat while you're watching it.
Yeah, well, have you ever played in a game like that where it's back and forth and so much scoring involved?
No, but I did with the Cardinals play against the Cowboys, and we had that many punts going on. And that was almost worse.
Well, I don't even know who the punter is for Denver because he never hit the field.
Yeah, he wasn't even on the field. Well, he probably don't even have one.
Hey, I could do that job right now. But it was a good game. The Cowboys played well. What do you think about the offense with the Cowboys and the way they throw the football now? Everybody says you got to run the football, but I think you got to do what you got to do to win a particular game.
Oh, absolutely. You know, when we were playing and when I was watching you play, it was a give and take offense, is what I call it. We're going to take whatever the defense gives us. If it's throwing the ball, we're going to throw the ball. If it's running the ball and scoring touchdowns that way, you have to do that. And that was one of the things that they did better yesterday than they've done in a long time. That was when they got down there, they scored touchdowns.
Yeah, they did, and that was big because they had to keep up with the pace of the Denver Broncos.
If it was a normal Cowboy game, they'd have been kicking half them field goals instead of scoring those touchdowns, and they wouldn't have been in the game.
Amen. But, you know, I don't think we have any problems with the offense. We're moving the ball. We scored a lot of points. We're not making that many turnovers. There was a critical turnover, Romo's interception late in the game that gave them a chance to win it. But still, the offense has been playing pretty well and putting up a lot of points.
And you really can't say the defense isn't playing well when they're going against the Denver offense.
Right.
You know, they're going to score against everybody. They made early in the game. They got a turnover. They need to, for whatever reason, find a way to make a big play at the end of games.
Yeah,
and that's the one thing that they've been lacking lately.
Yeah. Well, it was a good game, and the last play, that interception of Romo, they had 2 tight ends out there on the field and 2 wide receivers and 1 rookie tight end.
Right.
The game has really changed as far as that tight end position is concerned, hasn't it?
Oh, man, you look at all across the league and the way these tight ends are going after the ball and getting many passes during a game and during the course of the year throwing to them, and they're being very successful at it. You know, obviously, you start getting a bigger individual that can move real good and jump real good, and you try covering someone like that, and it gets harder and harder for defenses.
Let me tell you, you started out with the St. Louis Phoenix Cardinals, you know, back in the day, and then you end up coming to the Cowboys. How did that all go down when you went from Phoenix to Dallas?
Well, that was during the old Plan B free agency days, and the team was able to protect 37 players, and then the other 8-9 players that were on the team, they were a true free agent.
Wow.
And it didn't matter if you had a contract or not. So I was a true free agent then on this Plan B free agency, and the Cowboys were the only ones that offered me a contract, and that's how I end up coming here. And, you know, the Cardinals weren't all that great of a team, that was 1990 when I came to the Cowboys. In 89, the Cowboys were the worst team in the NFL.
Right.
So here I was, you know, a pretty sorry player on a pretty sorry team, and the only one that offered me a contract was the sorriest team in the NFL.
So it wasn't no.
It worked good, though, Drew.
It turned out good.
It
didn't look like a blessing at first, but it turned out to be a major blessing for your career after that. Now, you were born in South Dakota. You went to high school in Nebraska. You went to college in Wyoming. Who did you root for as a kid growing up?
I rooted for the Oklahoma Sooners.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was a wishbone quarterback, and I wanted to play for Barry back then. And of course, one year Nebraska was playing Oklahoma in Lincoln, and so I went. This is my senior year. I went and actually had breakfast before the game with Barry.
Wow.
And of course, Barry's a classic individual,
yes.
and so he's recruiting me, right? First of all, I see this 6'4" white quarterback that he knew was not going to give me a scholarship.
Right.
So then he's trying to recruit me, and he's going, well, you know, Jay, we got a great football program. We got good-looking girls.
Yeah.
We got good athletics weight room. We got good-looking girls, good academics, good-looking girls.
And a strong alumni base as
yes,
well. That's very
absolutely.
generous,
Very
I'm sure.
generous.
All right, so what does Jay Novacek do now? Life after football has been good, you know, being a former Cowboy, Super Bowl champion. I'm sure you get a lot of opportunities to do a lot of things. Mm-hmm. One of the great things about dealing with life after football and making a lot of appearances because you're a Dallas Cowboy is you get to meet and run into a lot of your former teammates or guys you didn't play with, you got to know a little later. And to me, that was one of the best things of being a former Cowboy and getting those opportunities, because I got a chance to do a lot of appearances with you, and that's been one of the great things in this life after football, when you meet guys that you didn't necessarily play with, but you certainly respect.
Well, absolutely. You know, one of the things that I've always thought about is to be able to be on a team with people like yourself. You know, we get to know each other. You get to know how classy you are. You get to know, you know, the drive that you had for playing that game. I wish I could experience watching you
Amen.
On the field right next to you and playing the game with you. You know, that would be so neat to be able to do that with not just with the other Cowboys, but everyone else you meet around the NFL.
Well, speaking about the NFL and tight ends, what do you think about that Jason Witten? Hall of Famer?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, one of the thing he does best more than anything else is he doesn't make mistakes.
Right.
He's so consistent, and so, I mean, you know what's going to happen every time he goes out there to play. And that's one of the things that makes him such an unbelievably great talent, a great individual, and someone who you go out there and throw the ball to him, he's going to catch it every time.
Amen. He's pretty good, man. To me, he's kind of a throwback. He could play in any era, right?
Yeah, you stick him in any time, any day, and he'd be a superstar.
Yeah, stand-up guy, always there, no matter wins or losses. He's always meeting the press and giving them that interview. Now, you're involved with the charity, Stars of Texas. You got a race coming up. It's against the odds for diabetes.
Right.
It's April 14th. Tell us a little bit about that.
It was an event that Randy Galloway had done for years and years, and he's with his retiring and going on with his life. He decided not to do it and be the host of it, and they asked my wife Amy and I to be the host of the event. And so, you know, when just in the North Texas region, there's over 600,000 people that have diabetes.
Wow.
They have camps for children to learn about it. They've raised $2.5 million.
Wow.
It's a great thing, and go to the racetrack and get a bet on horses. And
I was going to ask you, is horses involved?
Horses are definitely involved.
You're not doing any cutting or anything like that,
No,
right?
unfortunately, I'd love to, but no, and they won't let us get on the horse to go race them either. So we'll be up there just watching and betting on it.
Yeah, that's a great cause, and you know, you mentioned the numbers that are people are stricken with diabetes, and we don't even know about. Mm-hmm. But your presence and being associated with that will bring attention to that, and hopefully raise the necessary funds to improve.
Yeah, and that's the thing when you say people who don't even realize that they have it.
Yeah.
My dad's like that. He's in his 70s now, and he didn't get, and he was tested for it many a times, and not till when he was 60 did they ever realized that he had it. It came up positive.
All right. Well, let's end this on a positive note. The Cowboys, you think they can turn it around after a tough loss like that and get it together again?
You know, before this whole thing started, we were talking, and the thing that the Cowboys need to do is get on winning streaks.
Right.
They're going to lose another game, obviously, probably, but that's all right. Don't get on a losing streak. It's very, very important for them to the emotional game that they had, to put that aside and play like they know they can play.
Right.
And when they do that and not make any mistakes, they're a very good team.
Right on. And you're a very good player. You're a very good friend
Thanks.
as well. We appreciate the great Jay Novacek being part of the Drew Pearson Show. 5-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All-Pro, 3-time Super Bowl champ. Jay Novacek. Thank you, Jay.
Thanks, Drew.
All right, welcome back to the Drew Pearson Show. And this week on the entertainment segment, we have an interview with Keanu Reeves and Tiger Chen for The Man of Tai Chi, a new film that's out this week on VOD and also coming out in theaters.
Fest.
Yes, the Fantastic
Austin, Texas.
Fest. Now, this is one of my favorite festivals, Fantastic Fest. It's horror, sci-fi, animated, everything weird that you could possibly imagine. Exactly. Every September, Alamo Drafthouse, and they had an interesting event this year called the Fantastic Debates. And what it was is the owner of Fantastic Fest, the guy who runs the whole show, Tim League, did a debate with Keanu Reeves, and then they went into a boxing match. But Keanu had Tiger Chen fight for him.
Wow.
So the next day I got to talk a little bit about that and a little bit about the film and everything fantastic. Let's take a look.
Turn to the right. Now please face the mirror. Fight.
You have a contender.
All right, Fantastic Fest 2013. We are back with the one and only Keanu Reeves and Tiger Chen for Man of Tai Chi. So it's got to be fun to watch this in front of the most appreciative of audiences, right?
Yeah, we screened it last night and the Alamo Drafthouse, and it was a great, from a filmmaking point of view, the sound was great, the picture was great, and then sitting down, you could feel that the audience was kind of like, okay, so what is this? And it seemed like as the film went along that they enjoyed it. So for us, it was a great night.
Yeah. Well, and then after that, you got to do the Fantastic Debates, which is fun, and then actually fight. So that's got to be a little bit different.
1-2 punch.
Yeah.
The yin and the yang. The Tai Chi. With Tim League.
There's going to be some injuries tonight. Our fourth debate topic, Tai Chi is a martial art relegated to elderly Chinese women and is inferior in every way to Taekwondo. Opposing this in the negative, the person defending Tai Chi. Please give it up for international icon,
The most common location to practice Tai Chi is nursing homes. Second place is hospitals.
See, and that's the perfect response for Fantastic Fest, and that's one thing that's kind of interesting too, because I mean you've done a million of these screening kind of things before, but I'm pretty sure it's safe to say you've never had a fight involved in one of these.
Not of this kind.
Not on purpose.
Not on purpose. It was actually though with with The Matrix. I remember the first one. There was just people were like, "Yeah, I came out of that movie. I started doing kung fu in the street." But no, Fantastic Fest is definitely unique, and it's curated wonderfully, and the audience is a fan of cinema and film and storytelling, and so it's been cool.
And Austin is such a fun town. Are you gonna get to do anything Austin-centric? Maybe do some barbecue or some Tex-Mex or anything
ribs.
like that? Yeah.
Yeah, we have the ribs.
Yeah, we had some ribs.
Fantastic. Great.
Good.
Well, you've never had any Texas ribs.
Yeah, that's it's good.
What's the pressure like having your first film? I mean, you've had many successes before this, but to helm your own film and star in it, that's a lot.
Yeah, it was awesome. The film's in Mandarin, Cantonese, and English. That's fine. Just let's tell the story. Let's collaborate. So for me, it was, whether I felt nervous or it just didn't matter. It was just let's figure it out. Let's tell the story.
You originally met on the Matrix films, is that correct? Because you did stunts there.
Yeah, Yeah, Tiger was part of Wu Ping, who's an action director who worked on the Matrix trilogy. Tiger's a stuntman and helped actors train. And then over the course of the years, became friends.
So are you excited to direct another film now, or is it glad you got out?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I hope I get the chance to do it again, tell another story. Yes.
You already thinking about the next one?
Yeah, trying. And also trying to come up with some stuff for Tiger.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think I might have this other one idea. Yeah, Warrior and the Princess kind of thing.
Good.
Yeah, good.
It's brewing. Good. Well, I think everyone has a special moment from every set that they're on, whether it's a special scene, day, moment. What do you suppose that was for each of you?
Starting in the beginning, if I went in order, starting with like when we first started the MMA fight, the interview fight with you.
It's the first fight, so everybody is like fresh, like try to put 120% power in it. So everybody, me, of course, as the lead actor, I was like, yeah, go for it. So I hurt myself kind of bad. So just wake up in the middle of the night because of the pain, and I can't get up in the bed in the morning. So yeah, every day I go to set, it was like all my body. Yeah, but that was fun.
So you're gonna remember the pain of Tai Chi.
Yes, the most painful movie for me.
But pain is good.
It's my best friend.
Yeah.
It's your best friend.
Yeah.
Nacho, what you'll remember as well?
There's I'll remember just moments as a director watching Tiger act. Some of the scenes. I'll always remember. Just working with Elliot Davis, the cinematographer, composing and working with Wu Ping. I mean, there's so many people I met and artists I've worked with, and I think one of the shots. There's a shot where we're on Third Ring Road, which is a very busy road in Beijing, and we got a camera truck and we put Tiger in a car, and middle of morning traffic, we just drove out there and got this very cinematic shot that put us in the middle of this. So as a filmmaker, that's like, yeah. So when I see that image, I'm like, yeah, we did that. Yeah.
Everyone has a Hail Mary moment in their life where they had to go for something and it didn't look like it was going to work out, but it did. What do you suppose that was for you?
I don't know. I've had a few of them. The one that's coming to mind is just this one motorcycle accident that I didn't die in.
You made it.
Yeah, I made it, because I remember I came around a turn, I was running out of road, it was late at night, I was driving probably a little too emotionally, and was on it, and came around and the side of the mountain, and I was in the turn, I just came up out of the apex, and I was braking, bike came up, and I was just running out of road, and I thought in my head, I'm dead. And then I kind of came to, and I was not dead. Every day's a gift.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being with us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
All right, what do you think of that one? Looks pretty good, right?
Looks really good.
Good.
Very good.
Well, you can actually see it on VOD right now, and it'll be in theaters next month. Now, what would you prefer? Would you rather watch something in the comfort of your own home, or would you rather go see it in the theaters?
I like the theater. I'm more of a theater girl for sure. So that's kind of my thing. Popcorn, drinks, the whole nine. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see more coverage of Fantastic Fest right here on the Drew Pearson Show. In fact, that's where I talked to Metallica. And we've got a couple of more surprises coming up here throughout the season.
That was a great interview, too.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Next up on the Drew Pearson Show, we have more for you. Stay tuned. All right, we're back on the Drew Pearson Show at Henry's Tavern, where we're about to go through something that sounds so exciting to me, a nacho bar. And we've got David Pena, the executive chef here, who's going to tell us a little bit about your options for nachos.
All right, guys. Well, once again, thanks for coming to Henry's. We definitely enjoy having you guys, and we like being the home of the Drew Pearson Show. So this is our house-made nacho bar. You pick it, you can make it. So we start out with freshly fried pita chips, our house-made potato chips, and then everybody's favorite classic tortilla chips. Obviously, they're in a big container for a reason. We also have a nice little crudité vegetables, celery, peppers, carrots, and then we have a nice array of sauces. We've got a Pacifico pepper jack sauce. We actually use Pacifico beer to make it. It's like a white queso. We have our house-made Gorgonzola cream sauce, and we have our Texas no bean chili. You got your assortment of 6 different cheeses. We've got Marco here cooking up some tequila lime shrimp. We've got 4 different protein options for you. We have sauteed sausages from Kubi's here in Dallas, our Shiner marinated fajita steak, cilantro lime marinated chicken, and again the tequila lime shrimp. And then over here is kind of the piece de resistance. We have a straight from Mexico, wonderful molcajete, and we make fresh handmade guacamole to order. Then we have all the different garnishes. We have buffalo sour cream, cilantro lime sour cream, and a regular sour cream, and then pickled jalapenos and several different salsas. For $14.95, it's a great option to come in on game days and eat all you want.
That's great. So, in your opinion, what are the best Henry's nachos?
The best Henry's nachos? Basically whatever you want. That's my opinion. That's why we do it this way. You can come in and make what you want. You got all the options in the world, as much as you want, fill it up.
All right, so if we were to make a plate right now with you, what would you get?
What would I would get? I would get tortilla chips. I would get queso. I would get the Shiner braised fajita meat. I'd definitely go guacamole. Definitely go cilantro lime sour cream, jalapenos, and then my favorite, the chipotle tomatillo salsa. It'll light you up, but it's great.
That sounds perfect. You ready for this?
Ready. Let's do it.
I think we need to dig into some nachos. Thank you so much for being with us.
Absolutely.
All right, welcome back to the Drew Pearson Show. We're coming to you once again from Henry's Tavern. We want to thank all the folks here at Henry's Tavern for their fine hospitality and letting the Drew Pearson Show be part of their evening this evening. And, Drew Pearson Show is all about a higher purpose and giving back and supporting charitable organizations. You just heard the interview I had with Jay Novacek and his involvement with the Diabetes Foundation. But there's also another great cause that has been going around Dallas since 1983. Jennifer Laguerre, who is the executive director of Komen, Dallas County. And tell me what your responsibilities are, Jennifer, as the executive director of Komen, Dallas County.
As executive director for Komen, Dallas County, I have the pleasure of getting to support a lot of breast cancer survivors here in Dallas County, as well as looking after the breast health for uninsured residents. So our purpose for Susan G. Komen, Dallas County is to raise funds for uninsured residents, and so that way we can provide no-cost resources.
Wow.
So these are people who cannot afford something as simple as a $25 co-payment. Susan G. Komen, Dallas County is coming forward, and we're helping to cover those costs. And we cover those costs through events like the Komen Dallas Race for the Cure, which is happening in 2 more weeks.
Right. Well, tell us a little bit about that race and maybe other fundraising opportunities you have to raise funds for Susan G. Komen of Dallas.
Thank you, Drew. We are actually with the Race for the Cure, which is on Saturday, October 19th. That is our largest fundraiser every year. We have more than 20,000 participants that come out to North Park Center, more than 80 sponsors, corporate sponsors that come forward in support of this event. And the people just rally around this event because they know where the funds are going. They're going to help our community's most vulnerable population, those people that can't afford basic health services. We're stepping up and stepping forward. So if you register for the race today, then for every 5 people that register, we're able to cover a screening mammogram to give peace of mind to that widow of 3 children who's wondering, can she afford to pay for her rent, or should she go get a screening mammogram? We want to make sure she doesn't have to ask that question.
And how do they know about that and what's available for them?
We actually do a lot of community outreach. We support more than 11 organizations in and around Dallas County that are serving those breast health needs. We get the message out through our social media. You can follow us on Twitter as well as Instagram at Komen Dallas. And also our website is full of a lot of information, komen-dallas.org, where you can go and collect information. It talks about where to go, who to talk to, the questions to ask, which a lot of people don't even know what the questions they should be asking their doctors are.
Now, this is not just a Dallas thing or a Texas thing, is it?
No, the Race for the Cure actually started in Dallas in 1983, so we are home of a lot of things, but home of the original Dallas Race for the Cure and Race for the Cure. It's actually now a global series, so it started right here where most of the best things start in Dallas, Texas.
Right on.
And now we have grown to this global phenomenon. And our very own Dallas Cowboys, who are very community-minded, are very much involved in this event as well.
And what is their involvement? I understand Pat Smith, Emmitt Smith, Miss all-time leading rusher in the NFL. Miss Pat Smith is the honorary chair. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Pat Smith is an incredible woman. She is very charitable, but she is our honorary race chair for this year's Komen Dallas Race for the Cure. And she unfortunately got involved with this because she had a personal loss. She lost her mother to breast cancer many years ago. Very painful, but she's now speaking up and becoming the voice for those that don't have a voice. And as an honorary race chair, she's not only raising awareness, but she's also raising funds, those funds that are helping, again, those uninsured residents of Dallas County.
There has been tremendous progress in the research in dealing with breast cancer from a medical standpoint. Does Susan G. Komen Foundation support any of that as far as research is concerned?
Yes, we do. The wonderful thing about Susan G. Komen in Dallas County is that we are funding both sides of it. So we're taking care of our community now, but we're also investing into the future through research. And the amazing thing is a lot of people say, well, it's taking too long, there's not enough happening, there's no cures. And the reality is it takes 15 years for a drug that's being researched and developed to actually come to market. And when you kind of put that in perspective, and then when you also look at it, that Americans are spending 5 times the amount on potato chips than they are on research, that puts things in perspective. So if we want more cures over iPhones, we need to invest into that research. So investing, but when you go and you register for the race, when you make a donation, when you choose to purchase pink over any other color, you're actually helping to fund the research. You're helping to fund one of your neighbors who may be in need of help. So we're taking care of both ends.
Now, the name, Susan G. Komen. Tell us a little bit about that and why that name heads up all of this.
It's actually a really beautiful story. A lot of people assume that Susan G. Komen is still with us. Unfortunately, she is the sister. And it started as a promise between 2 sisters, Nancy G. Brinker and then Susan G. Komen. And Nancy lost her sister more than 30 years ago to this disease. But before her sister passed, she made a promise to her sister that she would do everything she could to end this disease. And through one promise, so I always tell my children, I said, if you ever think that a promise doesn't mean a lot, there are so many incredible promises that are made, and she's kept her word, and she's staying focused, and we're staying focused alongside of her.
Well, what an incredible woman to do that. And I don't know if she had the dream or vision that it would be what it is now, but it's really taken off.
It started out with a shoebox, some good friends, and a few names, and it has absolutely taken over to this global phenom. And for us, it's up to all of us, yourself, myself, us getting the word out there to raise more awareness, raise those funds, get people involved. It's more than just saying, oh yeah, I'll get to that later. Later is now. And we need the help now.
Well, speaking of now, is there still time to sign up for this year's race?
We will take sign-ups even the day of the race. We have people signing up leading right up to 8 a.m. You can register on Komen-Dallas.org. Also, you can find us on our social media, again, Twitter, Instagram, @Komen-Dallas. The official hashtag for the race is Dallas Race, and we hope to have all of y'all out there with us.
And where will the race be taking place this year?
Saturday, October 19th at North Park Center.
All right. Well, that's Jennifer Laguerre, and she is the executive director of Susan B. Komen, Dallas County. Thank you for being with us, Jen.
Thank you so much, Drew.
All right. Drew Pearson Show continues right after this. All right, welcome back to the Drew Pearson Show. We're coming to you from Henry's Tavern. What a great place. And now you see this guy next to me. You've seen him before on the Drew Pearson Show. He's our social media director, Michael Nast. And while we're up here messing around, doing interviews, getting to meet the great Jay Novacek, Michael was back there taking your questions via Facebook, Twitter, and what else, Michael? YouTube. And how's the lines been? The line's been busy, especially after that Cowboy loss yesterday?
Yes, it seems that Cowboy fans have turned into 2 different facets. You have the Romo apologists and the Romo people believe that Romo's going to choke every game there is.
Well, I know there's been a lot of questions, but you dwindle it down to a couple, right, that you're going to ask me, and I will do my best to try to answer them.
Peyton Pogue on Twitter asked, Is the defense that bad, or was Manning just that good?
Well, I think it's a combination of both. Manning is that good, but he didn't just get good. He's been good for a long period of time, and his preparation, you could see it come to the forefront. Sure, he's got athletic ability and talent, but that preparation makes the difference. He knows exactly what his guys, our guys, are going to do on each and every play, and that gives him a tremendous advantage. But at the same time, our defense has got to pick it up. We didn't sack him. You know, he had success on third down. He had success in the red zone. And if you have that kind of success on your opponent's offense, they're going to rack up a lot of points like they did last night against the Denver Broncos.
Do you think the defense is good enough to make it to the Super Bowl?
Not right now. They got to get better.
All right. Next question comes from James Smith. How do you feel about Jerry saying after the Denver game that it was a moral victory? James adds, I think someone needs to beat Jerry in the head with a moral bat.
Yeah, obviously Jerry hasn't played football in a long time, because if he remembers back when he played for Arkansas and back in high school and all that, he remembers he didn't have any moral victories back then. So why does he think their moral victories are part of the NFL now? They're not. There are no moral victories, and that's what's so great about sports, and particularly the NFL. It's cut and dry. It's plain vanilla. You win or you lose. There's no moral victories. So for him to say that kind of puts a little pressure on Jason Garrett, because now he's got to go back in the locker room and let these guys know that it wasn't a moral victory. He lost the game, and so it was a loss, plain and simple.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. That wraps up Just Ask Drew for this show. Remember, you can follow Drew Pearson Show on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+.
All right. That's our social media director, Michael Nast, and that about wraps up the Drew Pearson Show. Another edition coming to you live from Henry's Tavern right here in Plano, the Shops of Legacy. And the Drew Pearson Show continues next week. We'll see you then.